Begin with long, slow, deep, silent breaths. Deep and slow, quiet and even. In through the nose and out from the mouth. In through the belly and out from the chest. In through the heart and out from the mind. And as you do so, invite your eyes to slowly droop, close if you're comfortable, and extend every exhale. And as you extend every exhale, make that bottom of the breath a little longer. So your lower floating ribs, 10, 12, 11, and 12, squeeze a little more air out. And then notice how much deeper your inhale is through your nose. We often exhale through the mouth. That's borrowed from the martial arts because we can purse our lips as if blowing through a straw. We have better control of our exhale than we do our inhale. So the key to taking a deep breath, as I always say, isn't how much we draw in through our nose. The key to taking a deep breath is how much we blow out from our mouths. So at the bottom of every breath, squeeze a little more air out, and then delight in the deep ensuing inhale. And continue. And as you do, focus your mind on the fleeting moment, where your out-breath changes to your in-breath, and then where your in-breath changes to your out-breath. Make your eyes focus on those fleeting moments inside your own visualization, your own concentration, your own imagination. Look for those fleeting moments. It's the act of seeking you're after here. And as you do, you're sharpening your mind on the stone of the breath. And after a few more of these deep, slow, quiet, even breaths, invite your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open, just as a butterfly might leave a flower. As we work our way now into our warm-ups, we begin from the top of the kinetic chain, we work all the way to the bottom. We begin with what we know as yoga neck roll. We take a deep breath in and our head floats like a balloon. And as we exhale, our chin drops to our chest. When we inhale again, we sweep one ear past one shoulder. As we exhale, we sweep across our chest, inhale the other ear past the other shoulder. As we exhale, we sweep across. As we inhale, we draw the ear past the shoulder, each shoulder from side to side. And you're warming up your upper respiratory sinus, especially 3 accessory breathing muscles we know as scalenes. And these 3 muscles start at the top of each side of your neck, just below your ears, and they travel down under your collarbone, and they're attached to the top 2 ribs. Their job is to stabilize your respiratory sinus, to stabilize your rib cage each time your diaphragm drops. So this is a way to warm up your upper respiratory sinus. Plus, it gets you a chance to calibrate your movement with your breath. Many birds, one stone. Beautifully done. On your next exhale, inhale your chin back upright as we work into the Dajue region between the shoulder blades, just below the neck. We inhale the shoulder blades forward and upward. We bring them around back, and we exhale and we squeeze backward and downward. So we're doing big, beautiful circles. As you inhale, you loop forward, and as you exhale, you squeeze downward. Oh man, sometimes I can't help but moan in delight. It's so needed. You feel it. You know it when you do. Inhale and loop forward and squeeze downward. I know the reason I'm feeling it was I did a hike up to Purchase Knob yesterday, carrying a backpack, and I can feel that backpack between my shoulder blades right now. Inhale forward, squeeze down. Roll those shoulders a few more times in concert with your breath. And on your next exhale, you can relax your shoulders as your eyes turn towards one hand and you begin to scoop and toss behind you, side to side. The eyes follow hands and the hands follow breath, and the breath follows mind. We call this windmills, and any looping or repetitive movement in Tai Chi, Qigong, Shaolin Kung Fu is called silk reeling. And that's what we're doing here. It's kind of a calisthenic. You're just getting the body moving in the middle thoracic and middle rib cage area. After you've done a few of these big looping circles with your hands, draw that looping back up into your shoulder blades and begin looping the shoulder blades from side to side, rocking and rolling, as we say. Shifting weight, turning trunk, the whole body moving. Beautifully done. Now we'll work our way down into our lower thoracic region, and the best way to do that is we start with the movement known as the constant bear. We simply turn from side to side, shifting weight, turning trunk. As we do, it's also known as the ragdoll, we work into something called the prayer drum or the pellet drum, and we start to simply slap or tap our opposite shoulder and our low back, kind of like so. So if you feel comfortable doing so, slap or tap the top of your shoulder, the low back, from side to side. As you do so, slapping or tapping, invite your hands now to drop down to your top of the chest, up around the collarbone, right where those scalene muscles are that we just talked about. And give yourself some light taps or slaps, and then work your way down to those lower ribs we were talking about, the ones that squeeze out that last little bit of breath. Exhaling, blowing, and tapping from side to side, we drop down now to the hips. We slap or tap, and that's the pellet drum, that's the prayer drum. And we've got our whole respiratory sinus all warmed up, and now all we have is the lower body left. So we invite our hand to drift to our hips, and we begin looping big hula hoops with the hips. Yikes, I feel this one as well. This was from the big hike yesterday. It's about 4 miles up at the top of this mountain we're on right now. And oh man, my hips are talking to me. After you've done a few long, slow circles like this, whatever direction you chose, loop in the opposite. And go ahead and loop back in the opposite direction. We always unwind what we've wound. How beautiful. And now we can settle in the middle and step out into a wider, lower stance. This is horse stance or mabu. It's almost like you can ride a horse like this, and a little bobbing is good. That just means you've got the freedom of movement. The first freedom of movement we do is the Great Bear Swing. So we see Shaolin monks do this one as a warm-up. We take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we turn our shoulders and we drop down. And as we inhale, we turn shoulders, rise to pause, and exhale, turn shoulders, drop down. You position your hands comfortably anywhere between your hips and knees, on your thighs, and feel the transfer, the shift in weight as you go from one foot to the other. Exhaling down, inhaling up. Beautifully done. Rising and falling with each breath. And on your next exhale, I'd like you to remain in horse stance. Pause at the bottom, inhale your trunk upright, and before we leave the horse stance, let's shift weight on a figure 8. So get the hips rolling, shifting, and feeling that dance move. This shifting weight on a figure 8 is an important movement in many Tai Chi and Qigong routines, because you're moving from your lower Dantiens, this lumbo-pelvic hip complex, where all the power in the body is stored and is used properly. After a few more shifting weight with the figure 8, settle back in the middle, and you can bring your feet back into a comfortable center stance about shoulder width. And after you've done that, we finish up by shifting weight to one foot, raising the opposite heel, looping the knee inward. We call these Elvis loops. After a few inward loops, a few outward loops, you'll notice your ankle and foot follow along obediently. And then you take weight through that foot, raise the opposite heel, loop inward. After some inward loop, a few outward loops. Beautifully done. Now assume your center stance. Your warm-ups are complete. We'll begin our Qigong breathing as always by inhaling our palms up towards our heart, and then exhaling our palms back towards our lap and continuing in this manner. And as you breathe with your palms leading upward and downward, you focus your mind. And if you can do so comfortably with no loss of balance, and you're good with this, you might invite your eyes to close. If you're uncomfortable with closed eyes, you can always cast your gaze downward, or another trick is a soft gaze, which is almost slightly, just barely crossed. The eyes make everything gauzy. Whichever you decide is comfortable, do so that you can use the power of your upper Dantian, your concentration, your visualization, your imagination. As you do, we'll do this visualization together, a classic known as cleansing the inner body. As you inhale your palms up, you imagine a glowing mist rising from the core of the earth through the soles of your feet, through trillions of cells of your inner body, to collect in the third eye center, the upper Dantian. With each exhale, as your hands melt down, you imagine that glowing mist formed a glowing cloud. That glowing cloud formed a glowing rain, and that glowing rain washes down those trillions of cells through your inner body, through the soles of your feet, and back into the earth. This is a classic Tai Chi and Qigong visualization known as cleansing the inner body, and it prepares us for all that follows. So on your next inhale, as your hands float up, invite your hands to finally pause in a hugging pose right at heart height. We know this meditative pose is stand like tree, and it's where we take inventory of our alignment. So join me now as we do so, with long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders, our heavy tail melt downward. And as they do, our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. That stretching of the spine is known as the string of pearls in the ancient Asian literature. And meanwhile, our feet are parallel in a firm-rooted stance like a mighty oak. And our three energy centers are stacked on one another, as if they were smooth river rocks on life's river's edge. And as we focus on our breath, our concentration, our visualization, our imagination with our mind's eye, we feel the echoes of our warm-ups from head to toe, the yoga neck roll, those Dajue rolls, the constant bear and the windmills, the stirring of the bowl, the great bear swings, shifting weight on a figure eight, all of it coursing through us. We see it in our upper Dantian, our mind's eye, the home of visualization, concentration, and imagination. And as we do so, our hands begin a slow journey downward, and our thumbs cross over our belly button, so our folded fingers warm on what's lovingly known as the cauldron of the body, the lower Dantian. And through pursed lips and closed eyes, as if blowing through a straw, we blow on the embers of the cauldron of the body. As we do, we delight in growing, glowing light with each extended exhale. The embers respond, and we draw the light upward with each deep ensuing inhale, outward and upward. And we begin to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the heart, the middle Dantian. As we blow on the embers of both of those Dantian, the embers respond by growing brighter and brighter. They fill our inner galaxy, those trillions of cells, and that spills beyond the inner galaxy, and it bathes the space around us with light, warm, silken Qi energy. May your body be strong. May your heart be calm. And if your eyes are closed, enjoy it for a moment longer as your hands begin to melt to your side. And you only invite your eyes to gently, slowly flutter open as a butterfly might leave a flower. Beautifully done. We now step into the center of our little boat to prepare for our journey together. We inhale our hands up slowly and deliberately till they're an inch apart. We exhale slowly and deliberately down. This is known as centering the Qi. And we pause at the bottom, and the hand on this side of your screen floats before your heart. The hand on this side covers it. We take a deep breath in and straighten. We slowly exhale and bow to one another in a gesture of mutual respect. As we inhale ourselves back upright in gratitude for the tradition, when we exhale, our hands melt down, and we do one more centering. This time, like the Shaolin, we inhale our palms together, and then we exhale only as far as the middle Dantien, the heart center, just as Shaolin do. We inhale, elbows rise and wrists straighten. We exhale and the hands melt down. Now we're ready. We step out of our little boat and we unlock our knees so they're soft. When we inhale, our hands and knees float upward. As we exhale, our hands and knees melt downward with hands about an inch or so apart. We continue to do so, inhaling and rising, exhaling and falling. And we lovingly know this move as sinking the Qi. This is how we take alignment inventory. We make sure our 3 smooth river rocks are stacked and balanced perfectly on one another on life's river's edge. We sink the Qi, lying up there and floating downward. Beautifully done with the breath. Now, at the bottom of this next move, I'm going to ask you to pause with your hands extended, and then with arms extended, inhale them up to heart height, and then exhale back down. This movement we know lovingly as opening the door. It's an old standard we use a lot just to move us into our routine. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you, when the hands rise again, to cross the wrists with palms upward and trace 2 small circles. You'll recognize this move. It's known as closing the door. So on your next inhale up, cross wrists, palms up, and 2 small circles. Exhale down, inhale and rise, exhale and fall. This is closing the door. You'll often see this at the end of formal Tai Chi and Qigong routines. And in this one, we're using it to set up our first single leg movement known as the high kick with heel. So in a moment, we're going to shift over our right foot, or I should say, let's say our eastern foot. I try to avoid left and right because it makes us think too much. We're going to shift over one foot, and as we rise up with crossed wrists tracing circles, we're going to gently kick the other foot. Now, it's called the high kick with heel, but you do whatever you feel comfortable, even if it just means tapping your heel out on the floor in front of you. So prepare yourself and just do what you can. We're going to rise up and the high kick with heel. And then we're going to switch. We're going to inhale up and exhale. And we're going to continue from side to side as best you can. Don't worry, it's a little wobbly. We inhale up, we exhale and kick. We switch from side to side, tracing these 2 small circles. Inhale, exhale, and kick. Beautifully done, the high kick with heel. Well done. Now, on this next one, simply return to closing the door. So right back to 2 feet, then inhale and rise, exhale and fall. Well done. tracing the 2 small circles. Inhale as we rise, exhale as we fall. Now, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to step out into horse stance. And when you do, you can allow your hands to pause at the bottom. So, in a moment, step out into horse stance and settle in. The hands are going to float up to one side. Now this is drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. You can hold up 2 fingers. This is called sword hand. Proper technique is to actually cast the eyes beyond the 2 fingers as if you're aiming at something. The following hand is in front of your shoulder. And as we take a deep breath in, when we exhale, we draw the bow and sink down. And we pause and switch sides. We inhale up. We exhale down to the other side. And we continue from side to side. Inhaling upward, exhaling downward. And just continue from side to side. Follow your own breath. Draw the bow to shoot the arrow. This is one of the Dantiens. This is one of the 8 brocades. And there's lots of different variations of the 8 brocades and these exercises. So the one we're doing right now is just one version of drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Another one is where we actually aim above the horizon and we shift weight from one side to the other. So in a moment, invite yourself to give it a try. As you exhale down, go to inhale and shift weight and aim upward. Exhale across, inhale and switch. So you can feel the shift in weight from one side to the other. Inhaling up, exhale across. Just a variation you'll see in the Dantiens or the 8 brocades, and particularly drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. Now, one of the more assertive or aggressive, however you want to put it, versions is where we reach up overhead as we inhale, and then as we drop into our draw the bow stance, we go as low as we can. So if you care to give it a try, on this next one, after you draw, inhale up, and then exhale as low as you can go. Then inhale up, and exhale across. Try a few of these. These are 3 different versions of the same move, the same exercise. You inhale and your hands float across the sky. You exhale and drop down. Beautifully done. 3 different versions of drawing the bow to shoot the arrow. Well done. On this next one, pause at the bottom and spread your hands wide. The hand and foot on this side come to center and you adopt the hugging tree pose. As you bring that ankle up, you hold it for a moment and then you exhale down and switch to the other side. Inhale, draw the other ankle up. Exhale and switch. Inhale and rise. Exhale and switch. This has different names. The one I learned was called holding the urn. We inhale, pause, we exhale. You can imagine holding an urn with 1 foot and 2 hands. As you switch from side to side, inhale and hold, exhale down. You're doing beautifully. Well done. On this next one, return to horse stance. Bring your fists gently to your hips. We'll finish up this routine today with a few more from the Badua Jin, known as the Shaolin Punch. There's lots of variations. We'll look at a few of them. The first one is we take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we slowly punch to the east. Then we inhale back towards our hips. Exhale, punch to the west. So you inhale to center, and you exhale to side. This is just a variation. Like I said, there's lots of variations. Inhale back. Exhale to side. A beautiful variation of the Shaolin Punch. Well done. And then we can explore others. Another one is actually Shaolin Punch on one leg. So as we return to one side, we punch up, then we inhale to center, exhale and punch. Inhale and switch, exhale and punch. Just a little single leg stance. We're doing a lot of balance work today, but it's important for us to keep us solid in our feet and stance. Beautifully done. Exhale and punch. Inhale and switch. On this next one, return to your horse stance. Fists still at your side. Lots of variations, as I said. One of them is the more classic one I learned. We take a deep breath in, and as your fist comes out in front of you, you slowly exhale and melt down. As you inhale, you draw back, switch, exhale down, fist like so. Now, as we continue this rhythm, you exhale in front, you inhale back and switch. We'll work on some of the technique. Now, one of the classic techniques is to tighten that arm up as you push it out and inhale back. So you exhale, tighten the fist, tighten the arm, then softly draw back a soft hand and fist, an arm. You continue like so. And then the rest of the technique is actually to use the power in your eyes to angrily stare outward as you make the fist, then gently soften your face and your countenance as you draw back. This is actually part of the technique. Exhale, you push out yang energy. Inhale, you draw back yin energy. So see if you can try it and see how it feels. Beautifully done. Now, there are other forms as well. We'll look at one of them. And all you do is you continue what you're doing, but it's more palm down. And then you loop the hand back as you inhale. So palm down, loop back. Beautifully done. One more each side. And bring the hands back. Find your center stand. Sink your chi. Inhale and rise. Exhale and fall. Beautifully done. Again. Well done. When your hands drop again, pause at the bottom, open the door. Inhale and float. Exhale and melt. When your hands rise again, invite them to spread wide and stand like a tree. With long neck and light head floating upward, our heavy shoulders and heavy tail melt downward as our spine, our string of pearls, stretches between them. Our hands hover as if we're tenderly hugging a long-lost loved one. Our feet are parallel in a firm-rooted stance like a mighty oak, while our three Dantiens are balanced perfectly on one another, like three smooth river rocks we collected and we stacked carefully on life's river's edge. And with soft knees and soft belly, soft breath and soft gaze, or better yet, eyes closed, we feel the echoes of the Qi we stir. The high kick with heel, holding the urn, shooting the bow and arrow, and the Shaolin punch. As we see and feel the movements in our mind's eye, we invite our hands to slowly, gently melt down one final time. Thumbs crossing the belly button, folded fingers resume warming on the cauldron of the body and the cauldron of the heart. We extend every exhale through pursed lips and closed eyes. We use the power of our visualization, imagination, and concentration to fill the inner galaxy with light. With each inhale, we draw it upward and we begin to blow on the embers of the cauldron of the mind's eye, and we fill that with light, and the entire inner galaxy grows brightest still. We draw that light upward and outward with each deep ensuing inhale, filling the space around us. Drawing it further, we fill the world around us. Drawing it furthest still, we fill life around us with light, warm, silken Qi energy. And may your body stay strong, and may your heart stay calm, and may your mind stay sharp, and may your spirit stay free. If eyes are closed, enjoy it as your hands melt to your side, only inviting the eyes to gently, slowly flutter open as we step back into the center of our little boat. We inhale the hands up an inch apart. We exhale them slowly down, centering the Qi as promised at the beginning. So the hand on this side of the screen makes the fist. The hand on this side covers it. Together, we take a deep breath in and straighten. We slowly exhale and bow, and you give yourself a much-earned, much-deserved round of applause for being the light you made in the world today. Thank you so much.